Time now for the markets with Leighton. And I've been traveling, been seeing diesel prices. You say the U.S. average price for diesel is at a 4-year low?
You're correct. Not since late 2010 has the U.S. average for diesel dropped below $3 a gallon. It's $2.93 now. A welcome break certainly for agriculture and other users of diesel fuel. Speaking of fuel, some analysts say that the outlook is not good for corn ethanol. Also in the market, U.S. chicken production was up in December, while this month's cattle on feed report gets a negative response when first released. Some cancellations of U.S. export sales have put the soybean market in somewhat of a negative mindset as we produce Farm Week on Wednesday, as farmers perhaps ponder whether to go ahead and pull the trigger on any new crop bean sales. Analyst Dan Huber offers this advice.
At a minimum, if you don't feel comfortable with it, at least go in with some puts. Keep a floor underneath of there. Granted, we've got 30 days from now. We'll be pretty well established on what the spring price will be for your crop insurance. There we have another foundation to work with, but absolutely, particularly for anyone who has increased their acreage, I think you want to have those locked in. I mean, if you're gonna put extra acres in for economics, well, take advantage of the economics.
The latest figures for ethanol from corn show an uptick in U.S. production this month. However, analyst Ted Seifert says he expects this trend to come to a halt pretty quick. Here's Ted's explanation of what's going on with ethanol usage of corn.
Now that corn prices have come up and crude oil prices have come down, profit margins are under a bit more pressure, and you're starting to see stocks build pretty significantly. So we're not really that far away from hitting capacity of storage for ethanol. Once we hit that number, you'll see ethanol production drop pretty dramatically. And if crude oil prices stay very low, it's going to be very difficult to find E85 demand. It's going to be very difficult to increase the blend. So ethanol going forward really depends on crude oil prices, and at the moment, that outlook is really not very good.
Turning now to forest products, a new paper mill in southwest Mississippi is yet another step closer to reality. The North Carolina-based Vandrell company held a groundbreaking in Natchez for its future paper machine facility. The $100 million investment will create at least 100 jobs. Vandrell makes towel, tissue, and dispenser products for commercial distributors. Well, this takes us to our trivia quiz. This week it's about row crops in the state, and here is the question for you. How does Mississippi rank nationally in its acreage of corn for grain? Is the answer A, number 5, or B, number 13? Is it C, number 17, or D, number 19? I'll have that answer at the end of the markets. Sales of four-wheel drive tractors in the United States were down 26% year over year in 2014. That fact makes the news out of John Deere headquarters recently. Really no surprise. That company is laying off over 900 people at ag equipment factories in Iowa and Illinois. The layoffs begin in early February, and they are termed indefinite. Well, U.S. chicken production took an uptick in the month of December. According to new USDA figures, total production in that last month of 2014 totaled 3.3 billion pounds. That represents an increase of 8% from the same month a year ago. As for weight, the government says all chickens averaged 6.09 pounds per bird in the month of December. Lingering questions about demand for beef cast a bit of a cloud over what appear to be a positive cattle on feed report. Extension Ag economist John Michael Riley shared his analysis with me when we talked on Tuesday. John Michael, one quote I saw about the on-feed numbers, they lean to the friendly side. Is that true, in your opinion?
It was perceived as a bullish report. You had a number of cattle placed on feed during the month of December, just over 1.5 million head. The market was thinking that number was going to be closer, a little over 1.6. So a larger than expected reduction in the number of cattle placed on feed during the month of December. Everybody thought that was going to be bullish. The other two numbers, the marketing's number and the total inventory, was right in line with expectations. So of course, everybody thinks we're going to have a bullish report. And of course, the market reacts just as it has here recently, kind of opposite of what you think it should be doing, and it was down on Monday as a result of outside market pressure. As that's kind of the going story here. Is just there's nothing fundamentally within the cattle market that explains the drop that we've been seeing in the recent weeks, but that the report continued to show that, but the market obviously reacted negatively.
But the best we can say, just outside market influences.
I shrug my shoulders sometimes, but that's, I mean, it has a lot to do with falling oil prices and competing meats, expected pressure from competing meats. And it's the cloudiness that continues to hang over beef demand.
And kind of the bottom line, I mean, we still have a continued tight supply of available cattle when it's all said and done, more or less.
Right. Like I said, fundamentally, there's nothing in the cattle market that really explains it. Tight supplies, beef demand, throughout 2014 was very robust. We're expecting that to continue. A consumer confidence number this morning that was well above expectations, a really strong report, the strongest since August of 2007. So we're starting the year off on the right foot, but the markets just aren't quite ready to put the money where the mouth is. That's right.
Okay, they're not ready to be on the bandwagon. I think I saw where Allendale maybe noted this was the smallest placements figure in like 5 years. I mean, a little bit out of the ordinary.
Smallest since 2009, the third smallest on record since '96. So again, we're just continuing to write the storylines here that we don't have a whole lot of cattle available to be put into feedlots.
So obviously with that kind of picture, no rush for sure to liquidate cattle by any means, probably, in a majority of cases.
That's the $20 million question there. Obviously, I think the market continues to show strength and potential strength throughout 2015.
Before our feature story, let's check the trivia answer for this week on Farm Week. The correct choice is D. Mississippi is ranked number 19 in the country in its acreage of corn for grain.